this is Tammy Bruce, who's just interviewing her, has this segment. We'll just finish out on this because I don't even know this woman. Like I don't watch Fox with any regularity. I only have to do it. I do it as assignments every so often. Thank you, Gonzo. Everyone wants to take credit for all the achievements each party does. Doesn't want to take the blame for anything bad they do. The typical lame independent bullshit. Yeah, that's absolutely like she's like an air hockey puck. She doesn't give a shit. So Tammy Bruce, extreme left is unleashing most diabolical power grab in history. Think about that. Diabolical power grab. Think what that fucking means. Think just in the world of, if I may. Let's see. I'm just gonna grab one out of off the top of my head. How about, if you want to talk about diabolical power grabs, how about this one? Huh? How about that, dummy? How about that? Anything? Nope. Oh, thanks, history.com. Germany invades Poland. Because, I'm all for hyperbole. It makes conversation interesting. But for crying out loud, most diabolical by what? Because a few Democrats put forward a study to have, we used to have 8 circuits plus an overseeing judge, so we have 9 Supreme Court justices. Now we have 13 circuits, or 12 plus the overseeing judge or whatever, and so we want 13 Supreme Court justices, and that'd be it obviously could come and bite us in the ass eventually. It would just take longer, but, you stole 2 seats. So, yeah, all right. Let's just see, shall we? Tammy, tell us how this beats Auschwitz. This beats I don't know,
and for the week,
the Maoist China, the Stalin, I guess, murdering farmers by the millions. Tell us how this equates.
We are taking you inside the left's playbook, exposing not just their...
The left? I'm sorry. I thought you were a conservative, and yet you were a Democrat. I thought you and Rose were both Democrats.
Rampant corruption. But the method to their...
Rampant corruption? Like what? Are we talking about Rod Blagojevich or...
Madness. We will highlight the heroes in this fight and prove to you how we can and will prevail.
We? Who the fuck is we? You're a news commentator.
Tonight, the extreme left is unleashing what is now the most dangerous diabolical...
Dems power grab. There's the wall, the Capitol, defund the police. Oh, black activist. And look him smiling while that black activist is holding up that sign that she wrote herself.
And destructive power grab.
An inside look at the left's playbook. Is it really inside? Yeah? Are they going to have an interview with somebody like, dude, I've seen the playbook. It's fucking crazy. You would not believe it.
In modern political history, as the Democrats, along with their enablers in the media, have made clear they are ready, willing, and able to do whatever it takes to grab.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, Tammy, if I may, one of the things that we're not willing to do is storm the fucking Capitol and kill cops. So strike that off your list. We're not doing that. So.
Grab power, never give up, and inflict on every...
Well, I'm sorry, are we supposed to give up?
...day Americans what would be an unprecedented...
And wait a minute. Unprecedented? You mean precedented?
Never give up and inflict on everyday Americans what would be an unprecedented amount of control and coercion.
Well, you mean she means unprecedented because Trump's really president and he'll be back in August. Is that what we're doing?
Over our everyday lives. But ask yourself.
Okay, ask myself. Here comes the big question. Oh.
How did we get to this point?
81 million Americans voted for Joe Biden. Trump lost. That Republicans lost the House and the Senate over the last 4 years because of the actions of Trump. Specifically, the 2018 elections were a major turning point, and we won Georgia. So we have, control of the Senate by the vote of the vice president. That's how it actually happened. We have a democracy, and sometimes you find yourself on the shit end of it. That's how it happened.
We're packing the Supreme Court.
Thanks, Orchestra Ann.
Open borders, D.C. statehood, and even hating
We don't have open borders.
and abolishing the police became part of the mainstream political dialogue.
Became part of the mainstream political dialogue. So people talking back and forth. So people on the left, far left, I guess, bringing it up, and then Fox News bringing it up as if it's a mainstream idea. I see.
How is it that the same cabal of entrenched
Cabal. Ooh, fucking mic drop. Look at that, kids. She used the C word. Cabal. God damn. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't go to a Nancy Pelosi with fangs holding a baby's arm.
Washington Democratic fixtures, the same ones who lectured us on Trump's supposed threats to institutional integrity, are now the ones looking to upend the separation of powers, overhaul our structure of government, make our cities less safe, all while clinging to the power at all costs.
All while clinging to power, I think, is what you mean. Hi, lunatic. Do I have to even bother to go with the entire Biden administration going, I'm not for defunding the police, period?
The answer is actually simpler than you think.
Oh, good. All right. Well, go ahead. Thank God it's simpler.
What the left accuses the rest of us of doing is always exactly what they are doing themselves.
Oh, I see. So it's a rubber ball glue thing. It's just we're inverting the Trump thing. So just say, remember how they caught Trump accusing everyone else of doing what he did? Just say the Democrats do that, and then it zeroes out the argument. Doesn't even have to be true.
No, no, no. Don't you dare look at them, of course. Look away at their distractions. They don't.
What are the distractions? Show me the left's playbook. You fucking have it. And why are you using the same font as Playboy? You thought I missed that, didn't you? You thought I didn't notice that? You thought you...
care about being called hypocrites. They don't care about being accused of double standards because it's all...
What was the baby voice? Tea's ready.
all part of their larger playbook.
Okay, what's my larger playbook? Apparently it's a script for a movie that's based on the clip art that you use of the fucking Democrat donkey all the time.
The end game for them is all about money and power, and that means controlling the narrative.
Okay, so we control the narrative so that we can cling to power and upend the government and reverse our former things with the hard.
Because if you control the narrative, control the language and definitions,
Which you've been doing this entire opening monologue.
and control the framing, you've won.
Oh, great. So all you did was just frame, like this little frame next to you, you mean? You mean the left's playbook frame that you put up over your shoulder that makes it look like they all are working in lockstep and that they actually do have some sort of weird coordinated attack that they're all doing like that, and the illusion that it is somehow sexual by using the Playboy typeface. I said font, and that's not right. Graphic designers, I apologize. That's a typeface. And so we're supposed to... So you've framed the argument. You've changed the meanings of words. You've inverted the reality of what your previous president did. And that means you won. Oh, good. Well, that made her life easier. You did make it simple.
Remember, they accused President Trump of Russia collusion for 4 long years.
And it turned out to be true. It was true. It was true. It still is true. It's true. Carter Page was a courier. Fuck Carter Page. Donald Trump absolutely was using, like, Paul Manafort worked for him for free when he worked for a Russian sock puppet who was in constant contact with Konstantin Kilimnik, and they provided the Russians with data about how they were polling in certain areas so that the Russians could then do massive like social media campaigns and try to create. They even created fake get-togethers or anti-Hillary get-togethers and hired a Hillary impersonator in Florida because they were locking down certain states he would need to win. And if they were having a problem, all of a sudden the Macedonian hackers are all getting in there and creating these giant pages of Facebook accounts and BLM ones that make BLM look like they're insane or make like Muslims for Hillary wants Sharia law bullshit.
When in reality, it was Hillary Clinton and the DNC who paid Christopher Steele, who then used
bullshit. Washington Examiner, lie, 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 lie. The Washington Examiner hired Fusion GPS. They got it because they were initially, as a conservative paper, against Donald Trump running the party. And then when he won, they didn't give a shit. And Fusion GPS went to the DNC and went to Hillary and sold it to them. And they went, yeah, this is good information, but we're not using it because we think we're going to win. And we don't need to go into the gutter with this asshole and talk about pee-pee tapes. So bye. And then Christopher Steele went, holy shit, though, this guy's a crook. He's going to become president. There's a chance he could win. He's got the entire machinery of the Republican Party and the Russians behind him. And he went to the FBI and he went to John McCain and he went, holy shit. And that's how all this stuff started. It's not a myth. It wasn't a lie. Rod Rosenstein ran interference so that the Mueller team could not look at Donald Trump's finances.
Russian sources to put together the debunked disinformation dossier. And
it wasn't debunked. I'm debunking her call that it was debunked. Debunk it. Do it. Say what part. What part was fake? What part was false?
Over the last year, Democratic governors
have been killing grandmas all over the place.
Accused Republicans of wanting to kill grandma and grandpa for daring to question the ever-evolving proclamations of so-called public health bureaucrats.
So-called public health bureaucrats. She means Anthony Fauci. All
the while, blue state governors like Andrew Cuomo put sick patients into nursing homes.
Sorry, did Ron, tell me about the death count in Florida again?
Actually killing thousands of grandparents and got caught trying to cover it up.
Sorry, is Cuomo an example of the far left, much less the left in that regard? He's the governor of New York. Why what part do the rest of it? What does Washington State and California and all the other blue states you frigging hate have to do with anything that an individual governor does? Did Whitmer do the same thing? Was it a coordinated attack? Then you might have something. If multiple Democratic governors started coordinating, scooping old people into old folks' homes and wiping them out en masse, but it wasn't, was it? It was the total disregard for their safety everywhere else that got a bunch of them killed.
Ironically, in the end, it was people like Hillary, Cuomo, Biden, Harris, the Lincoln Project, Swalwell, Pelosi, and Waters, among so many others, who were the miscreants and the scoundrels they accused Trump of being.
The miscreants and scoundrels? How? Because they think because Hillary paid for the dossier, which the Washington Examiner paid for, and then they sold it again. So Fusion GPS, good on you. Do the work once, make 2 paychecks, knock yourself out. Swalwell, when Swalwell was contacted by a woman he found out he was told by the FBI was a Chinese spy, he'd cut off all contact with her and gave them all the information he had on her. Trump denied it, hid all the information.
And it was the Hollywood machine that protected sexual predators like Harvey Weinstein for years while lecturing the rest of us about the sins of sexual harassment and the abuse of women, all while spewing woke virtue signal jargon in our direction.
I see. That's why she had Rose McGowan on. If you let's see. Let's do. Yeah, Tammy? Sorry, what? Sorry, what? Sorry, who? You do what now? You who? Who's what? No. Who's this? Look at this. That's of course a cute fake picture because it's actually a picture of him holding his own daughter like that. Ew. And there he is with Ghislaine Maxwell yet again. And they are just years and years. Yeah, back when he had brown hair. Ish. Yeah, there she is. There's Ghislaine. There they are again. Wished her well there. There's the two. Look at this. Oh, I don't know why there's a House votes on Trump Epstein tape. Okay. Here's every time. Ooh, look at this. Here's every time Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell have been photographed together. There we go. There's one. Here's one. There's one. There's another one. There you go. There's again. Look at that. There's that one. There they go. Yeah, there we go. And there's archive footage. Crucial quote. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially when I lived in Palm Beach. I just wish her well, frankly. Yeah, sorry. What was that again?
Seemingly every hour of every day. Did you hear any apologies or admissions of culpability at last night's Oscars? But of course, you weren't watching. Neither was I. But they didn't. Instead, they delivered the most woke Oscars ever.
Terrible. Define woke.
They couldn't even control themselves for 2 minutes. And what was the theme for this group of people who were likely relying on police protection to enjoy their night of backslapping and self-referential congratulations?
Stop anti-Asian hate.
Hating and bashing police officers. We'll deal with this unacceptable attack on American heroes in detail tonight.
I hope so. It's very exciting. Is that the name of her show?
But not all liberals, actors, and creatives have surrendered to the woke mob. Some have even taken the lead in confronting it. Rose McGowan is one of those heroes. She joins us later tonight for her
this was the beginning of that show.
in-depth interview on Fox News. But we are now living...
In-depth? You guys have seen it. Would you say in-depth? Would you call that an in-depth interview? I would say that it was entirely lacking depth. Seriously, I would say it was a bunch of bloviating, superficial bullshit.
Living in a moment where seemingly every major institutional power center is taking its marching orders from the left. Big tech, big business, entertainment, education, from grade school to college.
Yeah, I mean, you can't escape it. You got to stop using racial slurs when you're ordering butter in a restaurant. It's a nightmare.
Along with most of the media, gleefully parrot Democratic lies, fuel hyperbole.
Like what? Cite one. Oh, thanks. Yay.
And spew vicious rhetoric, all to needlessly divide us, the American people. But
thank you, Jay and Christina and Ninka Crinkles for the subscriptions on Twitch, by the way.
Is there anything Democrats are doing to actually improve the quality of anyone's lives other than their own?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the American Rescue Act doesn't just go to Democrats, for example. Not even close. I mean, the infrastructure bill, long term, will actually benefit red states more than blue states, even with the enormous investment in blue states.
The agenda of Black Lives Matter, the Marxist group, certainly isn't making communities safer as homicides spike across the country.
Wait a minute. Why are homicides spiking a black thing?
People were killed and 22 others wounded in shootings across Chicago this weekend.
Across Chicago or just in Austin?
There were nearly 24 shootings across New York City this weekend.
Nearly? In a city of what, 6 million people? Hate
crimes against Asians and the Jewish community continue to plague the progressive Big Apple. Censorship from big tech.
Sorry, are guys, I didn't get the newsletter. Are we as liberals supposed to be bashing Jews and Chinese people? Are we supposed? I've really been slacking. If that's supposed, I didn't get that.
Does nothing to strengthen our democracy. In fact, it does the opposite. And reckless immigration.
Big tech censorship. Oh, it's terrible.
Policy.
By the way, follow me on. Wait, what? Okay, Parler was the one that was.
He harms poor Americans first and erodes trust that our leaders will faithfully execute the laws of the land.
Why? Why would it erode trust that they would faithfully execute the laws of the land? I mean, the Chauvin trial actually instituted a great deal of faith in the system.
But don't you worry. While they're releasing COVID-19 infected immigrants into the interior of the country,
Jesus Christ. Have you guys gotten your COVID-infected Mexican child yet? Does Amazon deliver them? I don't want to have them sitting out on the stoop because coughing on the wrong person.
Migrant children.
Oh, nice. 701 patrons. Oh my God, we cleared 700. That's a miracle. Thank you guys so much.
Get to read Kamala Harris's kids' book. It's included in what can only be called a welcome pack given to unaccompanied minors at the border. Propaganda aimed even at children. So
what's the book called? Go Home. We'll help you out when you're adults.
Ask yourself, can you name any policy from the left, if implemented, that will enhance the lives of working people?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can. I know. Yeah. The infrastructure plan would definitely help. I think the rejoining the Paris Climate Accord will shift us away from fossil fuels to renewables. Therefore, people who work in those industries would have an ongoing job instead of one that fades out over time and makes them sicker all the time, like, coal and black lung. Not like you give a shit or any of those things. I think the decriminalization nationwide of marijuana, for example, would be a healthy step in that direction, and the Dems are leaning in that way. Of course, I think in an election, it doesn't matter if everybody has an equal chance at being able to vote. It helps everybody if you believe in democracy. If you don't, if you, of course, are an authoritarian suck-up like Tammy the Bruce here, that would be a little difficult. Gosh, what else? The Violence Against Women Act, the reauthorization of that. But then, of course, that would only help people like you and your next guest who allegedly used to believe in the concept of protecting women from recurring violence, domestic violence, stalkers. It would eliminate the ability of, domestic violence perpetrators from getting guns and being able to, get another shot at killing their ex or someone that they are, fixated on. That kind of, I think that would work probably, or whatever. And yeah.
When we walk out our doors tomorrow, we know who those toxic ideas will hurt the most, even if our leaders in Washington don't seem to care. It's why the America First populist agenda is more important than ever, and why it's not enough to simply shout hypocrisy or double standards.
Oh, that shit, because that's what I had planned for the rest of the evening. I was going to stand on my porch, yell hypocrisy and double standards, and get coughed on by an immigrant child with COVID. Is that not, what are we supposed to?
Because what we are up against is beyond bias. It is beyond just a difference of opinion.
But enough about your editors at Fox.
There is now a full-blown far-left propaganda machine that has infiltrated the most powerful institutions on the globe.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Really? That's it? The most diabolical power grab?